I want to welcome you to Tales from the Trails, where our podcast focuses on how business uses technology and Salesforce to multiply the value they bring to their clients, partners, and teams. I want to welcome Todd with us here today. Todd, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Excited to jump on and have the conversation.
Awesome. So if you don't mind telling the audience what company you work for and what your role is in that company.
Yeah, would love to. I work for a technology company that services the post-acute space. We have a variety of brands. HCP is the parent brand. And primarily what we do is help elevate both the employee and patient experience across all different care settings that are outside of the hospital for those that are listening.
Okay. Awesome. I know that you guys really focus on rehabilitation and palliative care. Is that correct?
Yeah. Also home health, hospice, home care, assisted living, memory care. So we cover a lot of different settings, and these organizations have a lot of different critical impact items that are coming across their plate. So technology has been our best friend as we've really grown up and scaled.
Yeah. So who would you guys say that your clients are really focus your product mostly on?
Yeah, if you're driving down the road and you look to your left or your right, you probably see an assisted living community, whether it's Sunrise or Brookdale, a skilled nursing facility. So maybe someone had a surgery and they've gone into a short stay, or situations where home health has come in to a loved one or a parent that's maybe aging, a grandparent, and help them through transitional points in their life, whether that's just home health or moving into end-of-life care like hospice. So all settings, as long as you don't walk into a hospital, we're probably involved.
Wow. Okay. So you guys are everywhere. So a part of our thesis is that every business and organization has some mission that they're trying to deliver. Can you tell us what your mission statement is?
Yeah, our mission is to elevate care by providing insights, training, and tools to meaningfully improve every care experience.
Awesome. So I want to go a little bit deeper on that. So I know that you guys house like a lot of data about what people want and like what employees want when working for companies. Can you talk to us a little bit more about what makes an employee happier at an organization?
Yeah, a lot of it is about trust. So when you think about home health or assisted living, skilled nursing, these employees are put in situations where they're asked to care for someone that has constantly changing chronic conditions. So what our technology helps do is listen to the employee. So, Kat, if you're walking into a home with someone that has a dementia care and we check your records and say you haven't took a dementia care training in a while, we're going to feed you a dementia care training so that you're more comfortable to take care of that person at home. So we're constantly looking at data to help build trust for each of these employees. Many times it's like for you, if you were to go into a home, you're by yourself there. So there's not a colleague that you can just lean over to and say, hey, how do you do this? Like it is in an acute setting, like a hospital, where they can ring a bell and someone else comes in and helps. So they're really on their own. So they rely on technology a lot to get the answers. And what we don't want them doing is going to Google. We want them utilizing the technology we provide to get the correct answers, to provide the right resources. So part of that is just listening to employees constantly, taking their feedback, running it through AI and machine learning, and allowing that to then prescribe the right solutions for both the patient and the employee.
Yeah. And you guys do a little bit more too. I know that you guys really focus a lot on the education piece, but you also really measure data for employee satisfaction and you really measure employee engagement. Can you explain a little bit more on what you guys do with that data and how you measure it?
Yeah, we think about a trust model, and the trust model consists of 5 factors, but it really comes down to a few. So when you think about your workforce, it's credibility, respect, fairness, pride, and camaraderie. And that really cultivates a positive employment experience. Some of those are towards your colleagues. Some of them are the work you do. So taking pride in the work you do or celebrating with your colleagues. And some of it is items that us as leaders of business have to provide, whether that's credibility or fairness. When it really comes down to it, I think about it 3 pillars. If you walk into any meeting with someone on your team, you should ask yourself these 3 things. Do they have the authority, the autonomy, and the tools to do the job? And I think those are the most important things that you focus on. And as we've learned over the years of millions of surveys with employees and millions of data points, those are the 3 questions you can ask yourself. And if they're positive questions that answers that come from that, then you're going to have a really good employment experience.
Nice. Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to shift gears just a little bit. I know that Salesforce has been a great tool for your company. And can you explain the different ways that you guys are utilizing Salesforce right now?
Yeah, we're a data business, so we've got to be data driven ourselves and think about what we do as a metric based leadership team. And so, we think a lot about the winning by design framework, which is results, effort, knowledge, and skills. And so we use that internally. And Salesforce is that engine, whether it's CPQ or customer data, renewal data, even some of our product utilization data, we pump back into Salesforce. So it's our hub. We live and die by the data that's pumped out of Salesforce.
Nice. So I know that you guys use Salesforce to help distribute training courses. And correct me if I'm wrong, but weren't you guys the first org to publish COVID-19 education for people?
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting time. So I'll wind us back. It's a fun story. But we had just acquired an organization that provided training. I was getting ready to fly out to that business. It was based in North Carolina, and COVID hit. So talk about an interesting time to acquire an organization and have to have it transition out. But ultimately, what we found was the world shut down, as we all know it. And we went into kind of fast action response and took a lot of the guidelines from CMS and published a training. And it was the first one on the marketplace and had a lot of critical information that helped frontline direct care workers navigate essentially COVID-19 for the next 2 years, really.
Wow, that's so great. So when did you guys decide that Salesforce was going to be the CRM or your ecosystem moving forward?
I think we decide that every day. It's an evolving process, but I think we really got serious about it probably 12 months ago, 18 months ago, when I'd say we outgrew our previous CRM and just ultimately ran into limitations around how we wanted it to drive the business versus just how we wanted it to collect data. So that was a transformative time for us, but we're constantly working on it. I think it's an evergreen process.
Yeah, definitely. So I have to ask, what made you get started in the home care industry?
Yeah, my brother actually. So when I was fairly young, he was hit by a truck and spent the majority of his life bedbound. We had nurses coming into our home all the time. And the impact that those individuals make on everybody's life really attracted me to it. I never wanted to be a provider per se, but I knew that there were ways that we could help influence the care setting through technology, and had some great mentors early on in my career that led organizations that ultimately were acquired by Adobe. And they always encouraged us to go after our passions, and the healthcare industry was a big passion of mine. And the fact that I get to be a part of a business that makes an impact every single day in individuals' lives that are at a very critical time. I think we can probably all relate to times, whether we're having children and bringing children into life and all the emotion that happens with that, or as loved ones are transitioning into different care settings that may not be in the home. I love the fact that what we do gets to bring more recognition to those individuals that make all the work and make our lives much easier.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sorry to hear that, Todd. I had no idea. Sorry.
Yeah, he's great. He's in a better place, but there's silver linings in everything, positive or negative. The accident was hard, but the results of it were amazing. Brought our family closer together. There's the nurse. The nurse is named Barbara. She spent a ton of years in our home. So he was bedbound and in a wheelchair for 8 years almost. So he lived till he was 16 years old. And Barbara, I get Christmas cards from her still. So this is 35 years later that these people are still in contact with them. It's an industry that makes a huge impact.
Yeah, definitely. What can we do for you? And I'm speaking for myself and the people watching. What can we do to help your company in some way?
Yeah, we'll always take social recognition. We're hiring like crazy. So if you're in the job market and you want to work a meaningful career at an organization that truly cares, that's a great place. You can support us. Outside of that, next time you're in a care setting and a caregiver, a nurse, a clinician walks in, thank them, because they're dealing with a lot of different emotional settings at the same time. while trying to provide your loved one with the best care. So that's the number one thing I would say is look up and say thanks to those around you.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree. They do a lot of work that a lot of people, they don't really realize that working with other individuals is a calling. And so that it's not easy. So what is next for you guys? Where do you guys see yourself in the next 12 months?
Yeah, I think we're continuing to be inquisitive. How do we bring products to the market that improve patient and employee experience in post-acute care and long-term care? And so we want to be an innovator in our space and continually bring the right tools and solutions to the healthcare ecosystem. I think that ties back to our mission, right? Insights, training, and tools to meaningfully improve care experience. I think we're staying on that track.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Todd, thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate you taking the time to jump on here and talk to us a little bit more about what you guys are doing.
Yeah, thank you for bringing us on, and thanks for all the work that you do in the Salesforce ecosystem too. Businesses couldn't do it without you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. All right, we'll see you later.
Okay, see you soon.